We're here.
Just go for it. We're here.
We're rolling.
We had a little bit of some technical difficulties. That's what happens when you're trying to record a serious virtual podcast.
It's tough, but we
Max
managed.
thought he could plug his mic into the outlet.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Don't lie. You did.
Look, I'm good at like some things. No, I'm like pretty good at like I'm like one of those people that's like pretty good at like a lot of things, but like really bad at the things that I'm not good at. And one of them is like technology. I just don't fuck with it.
I was gonna bring that up. I thought that was great.
I'm not good at it, but yeah, let's get into it, baby.
Yeah. First thing of all, we're not medical experts again.
Yeah, the disclaimer: we're not medical experts. We are not doctors.
We are not doctors.
Normal humans that experience panic attacks, anxiety,
and daily anxiety,
and a host of other mental issues.
All of these wonderful things, and we are talking out of experience, and we still hope you get something from this. So, yeah,
I think you will.
One of these podcasts, one of these episodes, there will be this amazing song opening and statement, and you'll be like, "Well, these guys are doing this is totally legit. New, like this, yeah." But we're just going. We're building the plane as we're flying it. So.
Yeah, dangerous.
Yeah, but I think we're doing good.
All right, I think we should start out. I think we should start out with our past week, because we filmed this podcast, the last one a couple days ago, or about a week ago.
And
I
had to do that. You knew that.
I kind of did it under my breath too, but we filmed it about a week ago, and we had obviously. What was your anxiety like the past week?
What we also talk about
anything come up?
We also talk about how I haven't shaved in a week and I'm letting my hair down in this episode.
You have Fabio hair.
I know. This is another reason why you should go watch the YouTube one too. Just
by the way, we are on YouTube, Attacking Panic Podcast. Actually.
YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Anyways, how was my week? Did I have any? Anything like, I don't know. I had a pretty I keep telling this to a lot of people, but I'm a freelance videographer, cinematographer. And I'm in this just dry time right now. And with that, I feel like I've been super busy this week. For not having a lot of work and not a lot of stuff to edit or anything, I've been like very stressed, and I feel like I have been very busy because I'm not letting myself dwell on it. I am looking more towards like, what can I do to get more work, and the podcast is taking up a ton of time. So it's not like I'm sitting here like mad or pissed, because I have a lot of other stuff going on outside just my video business that I've been able to put a lot more time into. So I've been stressed. It's been a busy week, but
so life stuff.
I have a lot on my plate right now.
Standard stress. I would take stress over anxiety. I would take stress over anxiety like 10 times out of 10. Like normal life stress over like stressing about anxiety is different to me, because like stressing about anxiety is like scary, because you're like, what's wrong with my brain?
Anxiety stress. One of them anxiety follows stress.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
This morning I woke up late. I woke up super late. I got super anxious. Whenever I wake up super late, it throws my whole day off.
A lot of people wake up with anxiety, like heavy anxiety, and it's because, I'll give you the scientific reason.
Give me the scientific reason. Hit me.
Yeah, the reason is because your body wakes you up in the morning. It wants you to wake up, alert. So it sends a bunch of cortisol in your blood or whatever. So cortisol is a stress hormone, so you feel it's like you have an overload of cortisol. Plus, if you have anxiety, you're likely very, um, you know, sensitive to it. So I've had that feeling where I like wake up in the morning and like cannot stop moving. I'm like just like can't sit still, and it's like you can literally tell something's like coursing through you, and it's actually cortisol.
Yeah. Damn.
Interesting.
You should have just been a scientist.
I should have. I'm not nearly smart enough. I think I thought of this
No, I'm
today. I
kidding.
think
I'm kidding.
no, I'm really. I thought of this today. I said to myself like I'm like smart, but like so dumb. It's weird. Like I'm smart. I'm
Okay, but are
smart.
you like
Well, no, I'm
book
smart
smart, but
compared.
a little behind in street smart, or
No. I'm very good with like life smarts, like what people would call street smarts.
okay?
Not great with the book stuff. I mean, I could be if I wanted to. I hated it, so I like didn't. But I'm talking like even such smart people are so dumb compared to like the real smart people that I just consider myself like ridiculously stupid because I'll never be like an actual smart person.
I wouldn't say that.
Dude, how?
I don't know. I think we all have different
There's just so many
descriptions
people
of
that
what a
have like
smart
capacity.
person looks like. We're all smart in our own areas.
Yeah,
That
that's
sounded
just a
so
nice way
cliche.
of saying
That sounded so
that
cliche.
everybody's
We're all
stupid.
we're all smart in our own areas.
Okay, so
um,
we asked on the Instagram, the
no,
attacking panic.
How
No?
was your week? How was your week?
Oh yeah, true.
Anything specific? Like my
You
week, I
know,
didn't. I think just overall, I was just a busy, stressful week.
just a ball of stress, right?
Yeah. But like overall, honestly, like pretty
Solid
good
week.
though. Yeah, like solid week. Just kind of like a lot on my plate. I didn't have a lot of time to think about other things. But how about you? Anything specific that was like that threw you off? Anything specific? Any scenarios?
Yeah, no. So real life stuff
Yeah.
usually doesn't stress me out
Okay.
because I've dealt with like worse. Speaking of panic and anxiety, that stuff does not compare to
So like
real panic and anxiety. It's just like
I can
normal.
I can totally relate to that. Yeah.
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 Like tests at
You're
school.
able to diminish everyday stuff because you know what like you
It doesn't
what
stack
you've
up.
yeah,
It
I know
doesn't
what you
stack
mean.
up to real anxiety. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't tend to worry so much about it. But like emotional stuff, like girls and relationships and some emotional stuff can get to me. Like if I'm invested, my week was
Do you want to
fine.
get into
You know,
questions?
anxiety wise, I had some blips where I like was like, oh my god, where like shots of adrenaline would pop up and I'd be like, oh, but I call them like the panic
And
wave.
I'm sure just like right away, I'm sure like, oh, that's a panic wave. You're able to
Yeah, I know
just
exactly what it
distinguish
is.
it right
So
away.
I
Yeah.
don't react. I don't react like I used to.
And that's
Which brings
probably one of the
us
bigger
to our next
questions.
topic.
Questions.
Are you
Yeah,
ready?
so Max and I posted on our Instagram stories, and
Attacking Panic Pod Instagram story, which you should follow if you're not.
Quick plug.
Pluggy.
But we're gonna have episodes that are just full of questions because everybody deals with some mental health, right? We all have questions that
I just love hearing other people's
people.
perspectives.
Yeah, and what other people deal with, and just stuff like some of these questions are like, whoa, like I didn't even think of it.
They get the
that.
ball rolling. They get my brain ball rolling.
And we can talk about these questions for a full episode. So we're probably gonna do like every other episode or just like every other episode of just questions. And we wanted to do
Yeah,
that
just
for
every
this
once in
week.
a while we'll do some questions.
Okay, so we had a lot of questions about depersonalization, derealization related to panic attacks.
Yeah, so let me read the definition of derealization.
Okay.
Alteration in the perception of the external world, causing sufferers to perceive it as unreal, distant, distorted, or falsified, Other symptoms include feeling as though one's environment is lacking in spontaneity. I can never say that word. Emotional coloring and depth. So,
Okay, what's depersonalization?
okay,
Did you want to look that one up?
depersonalization. Yeah.
Because
But let
I've
me,
definitely felt one of these, but I can't remember.
okay. A state in which one's thoughts and feelings seem unreal or not to belong to oneself, or in which one loses all sense of identity. So,
Okay, yeah, okay,
so
okay.
similar, but I relate more to the derealization, the things around me not feeling real, feeling like I'm in a dream like state. Nope,
What
not
about what
that.
about what about you feel like you're the only one? You're the only real one.
Yeah, that's I've had that feeling. Yeah, that's scary as shit because you just feel
Okay,
like you're
that's what I dealt with.
okay. Yeah.
And
Gimme.
no, I just like none of that. I don't know. The depersonalization, derealization definitions didn't line up with that. I felt like,
No,
I just
I feel like it does. It's just a different version of it because you felt, I mean, you still felt like reality wasn't really real. You just felt
yeah,
like you
reality
were
was
the
altered
one.
in some extent. I felt like, yeah, I don't have a lot to talk about because I think this was it happened like it was every now and then. It was like a couple weeks span where it'd get really bad. And this was before I upped my antidepressants. So I haven't really felt like this a lot at
Okay,
all lately.
so
Like it's been really good. Yeah, I don't
so
even think about it anymore.
well, I was saying that it's not really an issue for me anymore either because um my way of dealing with it, the big ticket for me was the same way you deal with panic attacks, which is acknowledging it and knowing that it's exactly what it is and that it's a
Just
symptom of panic and it's a symptom of anxiety, and that the more you even like give it anything, the worse it gets. So if you just go on with your day, you tell yourself, all right, because I used to fear like passing out with it because I would feel like kind of
yeah.
dizzy. So I'd go, all right, then
Yep.
fucking pass out, dude. Like, go do it. So, like it's the same way with panic attacks when it's like, I'm gonna throw up, then do it. Let's go. Just throw up so I can get
Yeah.
over it. It's
Yeah.
like, you
Which
gotta
is
get
that's yeah, that's acceptance. That's a whole nother
yeah, it's
I mean,
acceptance and
we're gonna
I dare it. I dare that shit.
that's a that's the whole new kind of um
I'm fired up.
it's not new teaching, right? Acceptance isn't a new teaching, but
No,
yeah,
no,
running.
it isn't.
But anyways, I could go on about that. But anyways, I've had a lot of friends. I know I mentioned this to you early, but I've had a lot of friends, not a lot of friends, but the people that I know who haven't dealt with a lot of anxiety, but kind of the first symptom that they had was depersonalization, derealization. And that's what kind of introduced them to the anxiety or anxiety as a whole. That's what introduced them was like they started feeling derealization, depersonalization out of nowhere.
Yeah, like not real. Like you're in a fucking. For me, it felt. I remember. Well, last episode I described. I didn't really describe it well because the dizziness that we talked about, or the seeing through like a whatever I said, seeing through like a tunnel, that was all derealization. I just felt like I wasn't a person. I felt like I was in a dream type stuff. So
It's you sound crazy talking about it, right?
yeah, it is crazy. It sounds crazy, but and when it happens, you're all there. Like your logic still goes, well, I am real. I'm here, and I'm not. This is all
Yeah.
a symptom, but like the anxiety says that you're not real, and like the people around you aren't real, or you're in a dream, or that kind of crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
I remember trying to like early on when I didn't know it was like a popular thing. I remember trying to talk to my therapist about it. Like, hey, like I'm feeling this. I remember the first time trying to talk about it, I felt so crazy and weird that I couldn't even talk about it. Because I was
Wow.
like, "Are you on drugs? Like, is this kid on drugs?" Like, that's how I thought he'd respond. But then I learned that it's like a big symptom of anxiety.
Very
Like, this is
common.
something
Very
that,
common.
yeah. So,
Yeah, I dealt with it a lot, and it for me the best way to describe it is I felt like I was like super stoned. Like I felt like I was like really high and like in a dream, and everyone around me was like yeah, not real, and I was the only one that was real. Which if you right now when you said that just like a minute ago, it can still like freak me out a little bit when you say
When you bring it,
I'm the only real one and everybody else is like fake. That's fucking freaky, dude. Like it still rattles me a little bit because I can convince myself of, I mean, obviously not to an extent where it's like scary, but you can
yeah.
almost start to believe that if you just go down that path of like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah. Well,
I'm
I
not.
think there's going to be some things that we bring up on this podcast that are going to
Oh
make
yeah,
like trigger us like right where we're sitting,
yeah,
right? Like even talking about our first panic attack on the lack episode, there were things that I brought up about my first panic attack. They were like, "Oh, no, that kind of
yeah, yeah. They scare you. There's
scares me
things
a little
about
bit," but
my first one. There's not things that do that, but there's things that do that about with lots of panic attacks that I could talk about, and they all revolve
yeah.
around throwing up. The ones that I felt
Yeah.
really nauseous and thought I was going to throw up, those ones scarred me bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think on the last episode one thing you had talked about was will I have a big panic attack again? And it's like I sit and think like, am I gonna have like a big panic attack that shakes me up as much as my first one ever again? And that's a what if question. But
Yeah.
I'm able to kind of simmer that down and go, no, I truly don't think you will. I truly don't think
Yeah.
you will, and I truly don't think I will because well, am I gonna step on the ice sometime and not know how to skate? Right?
Right.
No,
Right.
because I have an understanding of how like muscle memory, like I have an understanding of how to skate after 8 years. With my
Right.
mental health, I have an understanding of
The way
how it
things
works
go.
and just yeah, how things go over the past 3 years. And you don't just lose that.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think that.
I think it's super important to just keep up. Like, like an alcoholic goes to AA meetings and like it can save their life, just the routine of doing the things, keeping up with the not drinking, keeping up with it rather than just ignoring it. It's the same way with anxiety that like go to therapy, do your things, do the things you have to do the meditation, do the talking, whatever you have to do to keep it at the forefront so it doesn't like slowly just kind of creep up and you don't really expect it. It's you got to keep it. You got to keep it there and like
Yeah.
deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
Anyway,
we're like totally going off track
depersonalization.
now. Like
Well, derealization, depersonalization, it's a very common symptom. It's definitely scary when it's happening to you. But my advice, not my clinical advice, but my personal advice would be just literally dare it. Like whatever you're scared of happening, just go like dare it. I mean, there's a book called Dare, and it
dare.
really
Okay.
is very good with panic attacks. It's that's what it says
Let's
to do is dare it. Like dare the panic.
we're gonna use that to go right into our next question. Advice on how to talk yourself out of a panic attack.
Yeah, dare it. Do not talk yourself out of a panic attack ever.
Don't you can like the form of talking yourself out of a panic attack is talking yourself into a panic attack.
Yeah, that is like essentially the panic attack is when you're like, I'm not gonna have a panic attack. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. That is exactly what you're like. That's
And
what's
I still
wrong.
do that. I still do that. I'm still trying to get a grasp on how to correctly do it because you
I've
can tell
definitely gotten
yourself.
much better at it.
Yeah, I have gotten much better too. Like when I like you said the small panic waves. Those could have been
Yes.
full blown panic attacks a couple of years ago, but
2 years ago they would have been. Yeah.
yeah, but now you're able to like once you feel that small amount of anxiety come on, you're able to just say, "Cool, like give me a panic attack right now." Like
Yes.
this is awesome. Like
Full blown acceptance. The only time that it's really hard for me is when I'm nauseous. When there's physical symptoms, it's harder to dare the panic because I'm weakened by the physical symptoms. I'm weakened because I'm actually scared of throwing up. So I'm like, okay, wait, I don't want to tell myself to throw up. That's kind of scary. So like it's harder when there's physical symptoms, but it still remains true that you literally have to look it in the face and go, you're a bitch. Like
or
you
you're my
can't.
friend.
Well, I say you're a bitch because you can't do anything to me. I'm a big boy now, baby. You
That's
can't
a
hurt me now.
that's a yeah. In the book Dare, he talks about how like you can make you can have fun with your thoughts. Like you can make your thoughts, you could picture your thoughts as like this little like furry ball talking to
Yeah, yeah,
you or
yeah. Like
whatnot.
that's what
And
I
you're
mean.
able,
I get aggressive with it and go like, ah, you
yeah.
bitch.
So
Like I get,
we all have different ways
yeah,
of um looking at
imagining
it
it.
as like, yeah, imagining it. I've definitely been better at like being able to separate my anxiety and panic and talk to it as if it was something else. And I like talk to it like hey, like not
Like
today
it's a
or not
little
right now
dumb
or
boy.
yeah.
It's just a little like little idiot.
Dude.
Can't do shit.
Like
Not
just
even
get
like not competent at all. And
just
that's
this
why
little
I did
annoying
like
piece of
yeah, just like dumb little kid. The dare thing really helps me. You absolutely do not talk yourself out of a panic attack because and I used to do that. That's what I used to do is go, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this.
I, but hold on a sec. You kind of can you talk yourself out by, I mean, in general, just talking to yourself, right? Being
Yeah,
able to
okay. So
just,
I'll rephrase it and say that you can talk yourself out of it, but not in the way that you think you should, which is
yeah,
like this isn't happening to me. I'm gonna be okay. Like you don't have to. You are gonna be okay. You can say to yourself you're gonna be okay. You can know you're gonna be okay, but you still have
yeah,
to
totally,
tell the anxiety that it's not that it can't like to bring it on. Like bring its
yeah,
worst right now. And if
yep,
it doesn't do anything in that moment, if you don't die in that moment, then you win. If you
yeah,
say anxiety, do your worst in 3, 2, 1, and it not you don't fucking faint or you don't throw up or whatever your fear is,
boom, boom, dude, just
you won.
dropping
You
facts.
won.
We love to hear it. We love to hear it.
I mean, it's it's
Um,
it's tough though. Like that's very hard. It's way
no one wants
easier
to hear
said than
that.
done.
I didn't want to hear that. You probably don't want to hear that,
No,
but
it's tough. It's tough. It's super
I
hard to
haven't
do.
mastered it. I still working on it. Like it's still
Oh
something
no,
that's
I
super
haven't
hard,
mastered
but
it.
like a lot of people who have like beat their anxiety or beat their panic attacks, um that's like one of their biggest pieces of advice that I've read is just acceptance. Is just
Acceptance is yeah, it helps. It helps so much.
living like you don't live with anxiety, living like it's not a thing, or living like panic disorder isn't a thing.
Yeah, just
So,
don't like I don't know if you ever beat it, but you don't live with like this crippling thing
yep,
in your life every single
yep,
day, every moment of every day, like you did at your worst.
yep.
I think we
Next
crushed
question.
that
That was
question.
good. I liked your response. That was good. I like that.
I got fired up.
Biggest life change you have done to relieve stress in your daily routine?
I have a very interesting one for this.
Hit me. It's
But
gonna be something about diet or something.
it is. It
Yeah.
is.
Max is a
I
little diet god, I feel like.
yeah, this was super vital for me. I'll give the whole story since, this is a podcast and like that's the whole point is to tell like long form stuff. Um but it's not that long. Anyway, the biggest change for me was when I used to drink. Okay, so like I said, I'm afraid of nausea, throwing up, all these things. So ginger was my best friend. Uh, it was pretty much a psychological thing. I didn't, it's not like ginger ale really helped my stomach that much. I just drank it like it was water because I thought if I drank it, I won't throw up because it's ginger. That's just how I put it. I gave it to myself as a kid.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I drank ginger ale like it was water. I mean, like 6, 7 ginger ales a day, right?
No.
Oh yeah, like
Holy
crazy.
cow.
And what you don't realize about a can of ginger ale, like a can, I think a can has 39 grams of sugar. I think a can it might have 30
that's a
it might be a
lot.
bottle. It is an absolute shit ton of sugar.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Zero
I mean, when you
caffeine.
think of
I will
ginger ale,
say
you don't
that.
think of like pop, right?
When I think of what? Ginger ale? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think of like pop.
I do you really say pop? Is that you really say pop?
What do you say? What else do you say?
Soda.
No, stop. Get out of here.
Soda?
Nah,
Because
it's not
that's
a
what it's
thing.
called.
Soda. No.
Pop? What are we, the 1980s? No, soda. I don't think it's soda because it's supposed to be like this healing, ginger ale is supposed to be like, medicine or whatever, but it's sugar is what it is. And so I would drink, 5, 6, 7 of those a day and wondered why I was like so tuned up, so panicky all the time. Like literally all the time was a constant ball of anxiety, could not calm down. And so a couple years ago, I'd say like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe it started. I started getting this pain in my stomach, which for all the hypochondriacs, yes, it happened. It was terrifying, but it was basically my nightmare scenario where, there was something wrong with my stomach and I didn't know what it was. So, in the state of denial that I was in, I told myself it is gas pains. I said, oh, it's just gas pains. I just got to fart. I don't eat well. I just have to fart more. That's what it is, right? So every like other month for 1.5 full years, there'd be about 2 or 3 days of, I'm talking 10 out of 10, doubled over on the ground, cannot move all night and day, pain in my stomach, right in the middle of my stomach. I remember
How long ago?
describing
How long
it.
ago was this?
This was like, it started like 4 years ago, probably. And I I remember describing it as like two little armies with fiery torches and knives just like going at each other, stabbing each other in my stomach. That's how it was, immense pain, okay? And so I just like I would go the 3 days of pain and I'd be like I'd forget about it. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm okay. It was just gas pains." And I just told myself that every single time for about a year. And then one day I said, "Oh, I drink too much ginger ale. It's the bubbles in the ginger ale. That's what it is. It's the bubbles. They're causing gas bubbles."
But you,
And
so you were still drinking ginger ale at this point,
yes, yes, through the whole thing, I was
even with
drinking
the
ginger ale.
pains and stuff. Okay.
Yep. And
Okay.
I was like, I drink so much ginger ale that I have bubbles in my stomach 24/7 and they build up and I have this crazy pain. Okay. So then I go, I'll just stop drinking ginger ale. And I stopped drinking ginger ale and my life drastically changed as far as anxiety went very quickly. I was
I mean,
very
yeah, you were.
quickly not as anxious. I lost all this like fat in my like face because of all the sugar, and I'm not like a fat guy, but I still was like holding sugar weight, and
Yeah.
felt immensely better. But that actually wasn't the problem. Finally, I went to the ER when the pain, when I was like, what is going on here? Like, I need to do something. So I go in the ER, and I'm like, they'll just tell me, I got to take like laxatives or something and just shit my brains out, right? So that's what I thought. So I'm like in the ER, like all like chipper because I'm thinking like everybody else here is like, in some serious shit, and I'm just like gonna be told that I got to take a dump. And the surgeon comes in the room, like, and he's got a white coat on, and I'm like, you look different from all the nurses that have been hanging out with me today. And he goes, Max, and he goes, does it hurt when I go like this? And he like pressed on my stomach, and I went, oh, I was like, yeah, that
Yeah,
hurts.
you had an ulcer.
No, I didn't have an ulcer. I go, yeah, that hurts. And he goes, I go, I think it's just gas pains, like to the fucking surgeon. And that's how in denial I was. I just didn't want to hear that it was anything serious. So I was like, it's just gas pains, doc. Like, that's what it is. And
Doc.
he goes, Max, I'm the general
Uh-oh.
surgeon and I'm here for a
5
reason.
days.
And I go, what? And he's like, your appendix is about to burst. You need emergency surgery right
What?
now. And I was like, I was just like, oh. It's like, what?
What? And this is from the ginger ale?
No. The ginger ale
Okay.
I learned the lesson of the sugar with this thing. I also learned big lessons about, I had exposure therapy there because with the pain I used to gag and throw up,
Okay.
and it exposed me to gagging very regularly because the pain was so bad that I would like almost yak.
Okay.
It was terrible. But Yeah, I got surgery an hour later, tops. I mean, my mom, like, I texted my mom and was like, I'm going in, like, it's my appendix. It's about to burst, and I'm going in. And by the time she got to the hospital, I was in surgery.
Okay.
Like, it was quick, and I haven't had the pain since.
I'm trying to connect. Does this have something to do with the ginger ale?
Yes, the ginger ale, I stopped drinking it because I thought it was the pain, the source of the pain.
And it was
So
just your appendix.
it was just my appendix, but I stopped.
It was
Yeah,
just my
but
bad.
I
But
stopped
yes,
drinking the
yes.
ginger ale because I thought it
Okay.
was that, and I realized that the
It was
ginger
your
ale was
appendix.
causing crazy. Well, but that the ginger ale was causing a lot of
Crazy
anxiety for me
anxiety.
because of the
I got you.
insane amount of sugar.
I was just trying to connect the two. I got you. I got you. I got
They
you.
connect,
I
but
got
I
you.
just took you on a loop there.
A little
Pretty
bit.
interesting stuff, though.
Yeah. 6 to 7 cans of ginger ale a day is not
I mean, yeah, that might
something
be
that
like excessive, but yeah, there would definitely be like at least 3 a day.
you go to bed at night with 6 empty cans on your
Oh yeah,
nightstand.
100%.
And you're sitting there wondering, why do I
Yeah.
feel anxious right now?
Yes, yes, that's seriously what happened. And I've thought about it. I've thought about it a lot since and been like, wow, I wonder what percentage of like my anxiety was like poor diet. Because to loop it around to this question, um, now when I eat like high trace sugary things all at once, like when I do that, which I do not do anymore, I feel physical anxiety symptoms, but my brain doesn't react because I know exactly what it is. I know that it's because I ate high concentration of
Okay.
sugar and that I'm having a physical reaction. My body does not like this. It does not feel good. And my brain will even like race, like my thoughts will even race a little bit because I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like this is it feels like a drug almost. And I just don't do that to myself anymore. And I know that I'm like people come up to me and they're like, you're missing out. Eat this cake, like, and I'm like, dude, I could eat the cake and I would enjoy it for like 3 minutes, and then like there'd be like an hour of just feeling really shitty and like panicky, and I just don't care enough. I don't like cake that much.
You told me that you pretty much
I eat very well.
I mean your diet is pretty crazy.
It has been like one of the biggest
Crazy. Yeah, that's a
helpers.
huge change, obviously, because we eat food
You want to know
three to
the
six
funniest part though?
times a day. Yeah, hit me.
Shout out to Chris Flossdorf, my dad. He told me this entire time, all the suffering in middle school, all that. He was like, dude, you eat ridiculously a ridiculous amounts of sugar. You need to eat well. You eat terrible. And I was like, diet? I was like, dog, I got real problems. My diet is not going to help my crazy brain. And he's like, dude, just try it. Just try it. And I never did. And finally, I grew up and stopped and started eating well. And truly, it has been like a life changer for me.
Yeah,
So I encourage that.
I've had chicken, sweet potato, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts for lunch for the past 4 weeks. And then for
I eat
dinner, I
that
have
every
a
day of my
couple
life.
eggs, tortilla, and yeah, it's just like it's just another thing you don't have to worry about when you eat
Yeah,
right.
you're right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
you can just eat your meal. You don't have to worry about feeling sick. Because I don't necessarily I get anxious when I eat too much and get sick. Like I don't eat canes anymore because that shit would just mess you up. But I mean, obviously I don't get to the level of you, but it's just like if I eat right, I just don't have to worry about feeling
Yes.
sick, getting anxious. And it's
Yes.
just like it's not even that you don't have to worry about it. I feel better. Like I
You
want to go
feel
to the gym. I
better.
want to work out. Yeah, obvious. Yeah, you
Yes.
feel better. You look better. So
I would honestly say like and do your research. I'm not a proponent of any like one diet. I think that carbs can be really, there's a lot of evidence and studies about carbs in your brain and it not being great for anxiety. So like carbs, sugar, I try to stay low on those things and just eat like high protein, good fats.
Yep.
So don't
Yep.
don't listen to me, do your research, but that's what works for me. I don't drink anything but water. Nothing that has any, I don't drink sugary drinks ever. No candy. I just am pretty clean with it. And I feel
And
better.
is it pretty hard still?
Oh no. I don't have any problem with it. I don't want
Nice. Okay.
it's because of the mental thing. Like I know what it does for my brain. I know how much better I am when I don't eat like shit. So I'm
Yeah.
like, why would I do that?
Yeah. So that outweighs the
It
satisfaction
totally
of
outweighs it.
the sugar. Yeah. totally. Cool. Um,
Good
for me,
stuff.
I don't really have one big change really. I've implemented a lot of stuff into my life over the past couple of years, like meditation, journaling. And these are still things that I'm still trying to work at every day. I go
Physical
on
stuff
streaks
too,
and I
right?
have a hard time with it. Yeah, working out is like climbing and working out. It's like these aren't big changes, but these are things that working out in a day for me can differ at being a good day or a bad day sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And like working out to me is a natural high. Like a good workout at the end of the day, I leave the gym, I feel so good about myself.
Good.
And a lot of people are, yeah, like meditation, journaling, working out. These are all things that,
Implement little things, I think, is the thing to take away from this is implement the
yeah,
little things and they turn
yep,
into big things quickly.
yep, yeah, yeah. I don't think I never realized how big of an impact like diet or journaling at the end of the day could help
Yeah, and
with panic
also
attacks.
it
Yeah,
has something to do with the fact that you're like focused on other things. You're doing work. You're putting in work when you journal and you meditate and you eat well and you go to the gym.
you're
You are
you're doing the
doing
hard
things.
things.
Yeah,
You're doing
you're
the hard
actively
things,
doing
but
things to help yourself and you will
yeah,
feel better. But it brings it around to another question, which was how are you productive when you're anxious? I know someone asked that.
yep,
That's tough. I mean, that's really tough because anxiety goes hand in hand with like I don't know. I'm weird with the word depression. I don't
it's
like
super
that
tough.
word,
Yeah,
but it goes hand in hand with that because of your serotonin levels and lack of serotonin. Blah 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 can cause anxiety and depression. There are people that are, I think, more prone to depression and like clinical depression and major depression. I don't have any of those things. Uh, I get my type of depression would be like I get like just stagnant and like don't really feel like doing anything, but I'm not like in bed crying, don't get out of bed. It's just like kind of
yeah,
bored and stagnant. So how to
yep.
be productive when that is happening? That's a great question. And it doesn't always work. Like it's
No,
not.
like flat out. I have that. Like I was kind of reflecting on this question. I literally flat out. I said, sometimes you can't be productive. Like sometimes all I want to do is just go lay in bed, and that's the best thing I
Yeah.
can do.
Yeah.
And go
And that
sleep.
goes with both anxiety and like any mental health issue because it's just like some days it's just like wow, it's just overwhelming where you really feel like you need to just like your brain is doing too much. You need to
Yep.
distract it. At least for
What
me.
what I do when I do get anxious though, obviously editing a video anxious for me
Mm,
is going to be a whole lot harder
yeah.
than working out anxious. So what I will do is I will find other things, other activities that I can manage my anxiety better. Um, I'm not going to sit and edit a video when I can't even think, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go climb at the gym. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go work out.
It
I'm
definitely
going to do
depends on
something
your level of
totally. Yep. I'm going to
anxiety.
do something that I am able to manage it. Um, and so I'm just going to switch activities, something else I can be more productive in.
I mean, it's a good question. The answer is it's a day-to-day thing. Take it day by day, but don't like shit on yourself because you're not being productive every single day of your life. Just give yourself
Yeah.
some sort of a break. All right, quickly. I'm
Cool.
not going to get into this
Next.
question, but I want to acknowledge it. A girl, Lizzie, asked me on Instagram. She said, "Does medication work, or is it better to try to get through it?" I have mine with meeting new people. Um, we will dedicate like an episode to medication. We're not going to get into it now because it's so much.
I feel like you're pretty knowledgeable in that, as I'm
Yeah, I've
not.
done some research. I have my opinions, but
I would say that you have your opinions and research because medication has a big impact on how you feel,
yeah,
right? So
I care
obviously,
about
if
it. So I
if
want to
yeah,
give
if a
that like a
medication is going to
full.
make you feel sick, that's not as good for you
Yeah, I want to give
with
that a
your.
full. I want to give you a full good answer, so I won't even get into it. But I did see it, and it's a good question.
What is one thing you would tell your younger self um, that you now know about mental health?
One thing I would tell my younger self.
that you now know about mental health?
Man, if I could talk to a young
This
Max.
is hard. This is hard because I wouldn't have like right now I wouldn't have expected my younger self to have as much of an understanding.
I would tell myself like there's a like a good, it depends how young. Like 18 was, I think my
I
worst
don't
year was probably like, I mean, there was a lot of bad years, but there was some years, I think like 17, 18 was pretty bad. I was dating this one girl and she was in college and
oh,
like it, I was sad all the time. I was pretty depressed those
oh
years.
sad boy Max.
I was total sad boy. Relationships I don't do well with relationships to be honest. But um yeah, so I would just tell myself that like you get out like it gets better. You get out alive and that it gets better and that you have a very good for lack of a better word, good grasp on what is going on in your brain. And even though
In
like
5 years.
yeah, it doesn't feel like it now that you ever are going to understand what's going on in your head. You do. And you know that
Yeah.
it's not that like I could tell myself like you don't deal with it like the way you do now. Like you don't have it doesn't attack you like the way it does now. Is kind of what I would say. Like it doesn't take over like the way it does now.
Yeah.
That's what I would say to
With
young Maxwell.
time comes lessons. You live and you learn.
Live and
Um
you learn.
yeah, like I said, I wouldn't have expected my younger self to have an understanding of where I'm at now. So all I would say is just everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, you're gonna be
Like it's I don't
freaking
know.
Gucci.
You're gonna be
You're just
dope.
gonna ride it out, baby.
Yeah. Good question though. Very good question.
Great question. Let's get to let's do this last one. Even though I haven't fainted or died the last 4 years since my first panic attack, why is the fear still new? Do you
Okay.
so what I'll say about that is obviously this person's I hate the word trigger, it's so corny, but like triggers, things that set him off panic wise are fainting and dying. And I can relate a little bit to the fainting one. It's a lot like throwing up. It's a fear of losing control of your body, which is what fainting and vomiting both come down to. You fear
Yeah.
losing control of your body. I can very much relate to that.
Yep.
It's still new because it's your fear. Like it doesn't have to happen. That's like the point. Usually when it happens, you might even like get over it a little bit more than you would if it doesn't. Because when it doesn't happen, it is the big bad monster that you don't know about. It's like the unknown that you are terrified of. So that's what I would say is that like you're afraid of something that hasn't happened. That's what panic is. You're panicking about the unknown or something that you fear.
Panic
A lot of
attack.
people fear death, man. A lot of people fear death. I don't as much relate to that one because to me, death is like I'll just die. I fear being sick and dying. That would be terrible, like getting cancer.
Oh, I'm reading this question wrong, bro.
How are you reading it?
Even though I'm reading it as in I didn't put together that he's fearing fainting or dying.
Yeah, like for 4 years since his first panic attack, but he's like, why is it still? Why am I still fearing it if it
Fearing
hasn't
it.
happened? I think.
Because that's his trigger. Yeah. Like
Yeah, it's like that's why you fear it because it hasn't happened and you're just waiting for it to happen. And it's new. It's just new because it's because it hasn't happened. It feels new, but this
there was
says
another question about
37 minutes.
mitigating anxiety. Did I say that right? Mitigating.
Yeah. What's the
That's
question?
right, isn't it?
Yeah,
Strategies
mitigating.
for mitigating anxiety.
I think we kind of went over
I
it.
yeah, it's just I think this can kind of go off of the small things that you can implement
Little
into your life that
things,
we've both
and
done.
my big thing would be Google, do research on a diet that's good for anxiety. Look into it deeply. Don't fall for anything dumb. And I mean, if you want to keep it really simple, cut out large amounts of sugar. And if you
Let me
drink
see if there's any
sugary
questions that
drinks, don't drink them anymore. Just drink water.
as I'm yeah, as I sip on coffee every day. Although that's caffeine,
Coffee's a
but still.
big no for me too. I'm surprised you can
There
handle
was
caffeine.
there was an advice. Yeah, dude. I 2 or 3 cups some days, honestly. Like,
It just gives me like deal withable anxiety, but a constant, like, still a constant little like anxious part of me that just wakes up.
yeah, I haven't ever. I've been drinking coffee for years, and I haven't like had any like week-long streaks. But I'd be curious to see how I felt with like a week
We
without
should do it.
coffee.
You should go one. You should fucking do it
Yeah, I probably should.
and just see
I'll
and
do it.
report
I'll do it
back.
some week. I'll do it. I want to get into this question. Since we haven't talked about social anxiety at all.
Yeah, no, we haven't.
Advice
And
for
you know
us
what?
social anxiety panic attack people.
Let me be totally clear and upfront. Never dealt with it.
I don't really think I have either.
Never been a problem for me. I'm not well versed. I know things about it from other people. I know that the symptoms can be the same. It's the kind of like the triggers that are different. I have never had a problem, not to rub it in your fucking face. I sound like I am, but I've never had a problem
Yeah.
with meeting people, talking to people. People don't make me nervous. I don't know why. I don't think I care enough. I just it's just never been an issue for me. Meeting new people. I remember like the therapists in school, like they would be like, you know, they'd hear I have anxiety, and then they'd meet me and they'd be like, "What?" And I'd be like, "Oh, no, not social anxiety. I'm not like," and they'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." Like it's never been that way. But I
Yeah.
mean, we can offer some sort of advice because we know. I mean, I think the same advice goes for the symptoms. It's like dare it, do the things that you're scared of. Um,
Go out and talk to people.
Go out and talk to
Ask
people.
her on a date.
Yeah, give yourself little goals that are like,
Okay. That's no, that's go out and talk to people. That's like that's so broad.
that's like saying me stick my finger down my throat and just throw up.
I was gonna say, hold on a sec. This dude's looking for some actual advice.
That might be too big of a step. But hey, do little things. Like if you're afraid to talk to people, like if you don't, I know people that don't go to the store alone, because that can be really scary. Again, I cannot like relate myself because it's never been a thing for me. But I would approach it the same, and I would say I would give the same advice of like little things, doing things that scare you a little bit, like going to the store alone, maybe just driving alone, whatever it is. The little things. Start little.
Yep. And again, we're gonna have people on this podcast who have had crippling social anxiety, who have who have had bad experiences with medication, who've had great experiences with medication. Like we want to have people on.
I have a weird connection. I have like a connection in a weird way to Dr. Drew, which is funny. Like if we could get Dr. Drew on, it'd be hilarious. I doubt we can. It's a weird like know someone who's like close with him type thing. That'd be crazy. I want Daniel Amen on. Dr. Daniel Amen. Look him up. He does these SPECT scans for brains. I've been dying to get my brain scanned.
Are these like high class?
Yeah, people? Very high profile. These are like dream guests, but they're medical field people that it's doable.
So I know we keep saying we're not medical professionals, but we would like to have some on.
Yes, for sure. And but also we're going to begin with friends that have anxiety. Shout out Jasmine. She's definitely going to come on. She's a celebrity stylist in LA who deals with anxiety. We like connected through anxiety, and she's been like, we're just buds from that. And so we're definitely going to have her on. Just people that are very interesting and have interesting lives. And you'll see that they've done some interesting things despite their anxiety.
I think that's a wrap, dude. I think we're good.
I think it's a wrap too. I think we crushed it.
Yeah. Yeah, this was more of a question-based podcast, and like I said, we're hoping to do that more. But
send questions
again, guys. Yeah, send us DMs, reach out, say like what you thought, give us your overall thoughts. If there's anything about the podcast that you're like, wow.
Yeah, we want feedback. We want, my Instagram is Max Falaz. Your Instagram, go.
Ryan K. Christians. blanked out on that for a little bit.
Did you? And then we have the Attacking Panic Pod Instagram. So follow them and slide in the DMs. Say
Yeah.
what's up. And
Cool. We hope this.
yeah.
We hope you got something out of this.
Yeah, YouTube. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Subscribe. Do all the things you got to do. Do the rating thing. That's a thing you should do, apparently. Rate us 5 stars.
Probably 6 stars.
Rate us 12.
All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for
guys.
listening,
We'll see you
everybody. We will see you next
week.
week, Monday, correct?
Yes. All right.
See you Monday.
Bye.